Hey guys, Sean here by the dumpsters. Today we're going to do a little walk around Kingston's Portsmouth Olympic Harbour, and I've got about maybe 20 minutes to do this on my lunch break. It's 12 noon on Tuesday the 19th of August, and it's about 19 degrees out, a little shady, pardon me, a little cloudy I should say. Let's get at it, see what's over here. Portsmouth in itself is a village located, well, it's essentially a neighborhood in Kingston now. It started out as you might expect, a village. It was one of Kingston's first suburbs, I guess you'd say. But they were distinct enough that they were actually attached to one another by a streetcar line, which is now defunct. Harbour itself took on some serious renovations in 1976 when Kingston had the honor of hosting the wind events for the Montreal Olympics in that year. So hence all the sailing references that you see around town. And we're not allowed to go on these docks, and I think I'm going to abide by that, because there does appear to be a regatta going on here, and I don't want to upset anybody. It's located right next to the infamous Kingston Penitentiary, which is, to my mind, always been kind of interesting, because when that prison was operating, what you had on the far side of the walls was people living in an extremely small world. And right next to it, an Olympic venue. And you can't really get more worldly than that, can you? Looks like a few tourists have made their way out this far from downtown. We're not really that far from downtown, to be honest, so good on them. This is extremely accessible, I'd say. You could be here, if you were going to walk, it'd probably take you about 20 minutes, half an hour. Very quick little Uber ride if you went that route. There are definitely people getting ready for a day out on the water here. We've got quite a few boats over here. As I say, I'm pretty sure there's a regatta going on. So they're all setting up for some kind of race. Some zodiacs. I think that's what you call these things. I imagine these would be the boats that are out there officiating and maintaining safety, that kind of thing. I always thought they were cool. I think it's mostly because I just think the word zodiac is fun. I don't really know a lot about the sailing crowd. I don't know if they get edgy if you start to get too close and have a look. So maybe I'll leave them to their own devices. We're going to head over, take a look at some of these beautiful boats. And ultimately we're going to find our way out to a lonely pier right at the tip of the harbor here. Maybe we'll make a stop at the pavilion first, that was built specifically for the event in 1976. It's got sort of a brutalist modern aesthetic to it. It's over there. We'll get a little closer in a bit. Doesn't seem to do a lot other than service the community that uses the harbor, which is, I suppose, an obvious obvious use. But as far as the community writ large goes, you see things in this building like, police auctions, cat shows, that sort of thing. Pretty cool looking catamaran there versus a more traditional sailboat. Ton more Zodiacs. I am really tempted to jump out onto one of these docks, but I want to be a good harbor guest, so maybe I'll fight that urge for now. We'll see how strong it gets. I think what we see over there, that red building in the distance, I feel like that might have something to do with the Coast Guard. It might even be their station. I'm not entirely certain. They tend to keep kind of a low profile here in town. If you don't know a lot of this nautical stuff firsthand, it can be hard to just happen upon that knowledge. So we've gotten a little closer to the pavilion building itself. Maybe we'll take a quick boo inside of here, show you what's going on there. I feel that this is one of those buildings that genuinely looked a lot better when it was built. And I just don't think there's been the political will to keep it fresh. But I think there was a time when, even after the Olympic Games, when it was quite heavily used. There used to be a restaurant up top. It had quite a large walk-around patio. You can see some umbrellas up there. I don't think it operates as a committed restaurant any longer. I think they might do special events, that sort of thing. There's a piece of sculpture that be commemorating 76 Olympic Games. There's sort of a companion piece a little further out there towards the pier where we'll end up later. Have a look at that in a minute. What do we got here? Olympic Cairn. There we are. And now you know. Let's head on inside. Like I said, there isn't too much to see in here, but we're here. Let's do it. Aha. That may be the end of the video, but I guess it's not. We're in. Those auctions and cat shows I was talking about, they usually get set up in there. As I said, it's the entrance to what used to be a restaurant up there. I think it's a community kitchen now, which is kind of an interesting use for that. Renting out space to small businesses that have a culinary product but no kitchen to prep it in. In any event, you know, it's funny, this place always seems disused. It's like this anytime I've been here. They have public washrooms, and a year ago I was doing some food delivery and I really needed to use a washroom, and you're always looking for one when you're doing food delivery. And I found this one down in here, and when I was done and I came out, I happened across a woman who was chasing a duck around this boardroom here. She asked for my help, but I was in the middle of that delivery, so I couldn't really offer her any assistance in that hilarious matter. Just goes to show you, no matter what kind of day you're having, physical comedy is happening somewhere. Smile. Let's head on out there and check out that pier. Should we require any ice on our journey, we now know where to get that. And boat people. See if they can sense that I don't own a sailboat.
What's up, dude? Yeah, they live in.
Wow. I don't know if you call that draft or what, but they're sitting so low in the water. Uh-oh. Oh no. All appears to be well. Surfaces in the water around Kingston this time of year get a little bit slimy, and it's been crazy hot, so the weeds have been able to take over the water to a large extent. Well, they appear to be well away. There's a Coast Guard vehicle there, I believe. Vehicle. Boat. A Coast Guard boat. Wolf Island to our right there, and what appears to be a race happening out there right now. Some more emergency vehicles. Fireboat. Apparently taking a little break, do some fishing. I'm not going to ask him if he's got a license. I'm just going to be cool like that. Maybe these guys will. We might actually find ourselves able to pace that racing boat on its way out of the mouth of the harbor here. As you can see, it is a natural harbor, but without natural protection. So we're actually on the breakwater right now that shelters the bulk of this fairly large harbor. I understand we got about 250 slips here, accommodating boats up to 100 feet long. Pretty formidable ship, I would think. And here's a compendium of that sculpture that we saw closer to the building. Can't remember if there's a plaque associated with this or not, but gosh, it's a lot bigger than it looks from shore. It's hard to get a whole sense of it without falling in the water here, because that's where I am. And there's our boat buddies, and there's our pier. Let's get at it. There's a loon. Classic Canadian moment. And he's gone. It's a beautiful, calm day. I suppose that's not exactly the way the sailors are looking at it. I imagine they'd prefer a little bit more wind. But my understanding is ideal race conditions are something like flat water with high wind, so we do have a bit of that. As you can see, this pier isn't as lonely a place as I'd thought it might have been. It's getting used by the community, which is nice to see. It's definitely windier out here. No question about that. I think the kids on that boat are about to spring into action. And away they go. Look at that. As soon as they rounded that bend over there, the wind became available to them. Wow, full sail, huh? Look at that. Isn't that amazing? On a collision course with one of Kingston's many tour boats. Nah, I suspect it won't come to that. And there we are, the edge of nowhere. Let's see if we can get the nice people to wave at us. I don't know. I'm pumping pretty hard, but I don't see any hands coming back my way. That's all right. I'm sure they'll enjoy their trip to Kingston anyhow. There's the backside of KP, Kingston Penitentiary. Back when this place was open, I remember I was kayaking one time right along that area there, and the wind was blowing me in, and I drifted up against those rocks. And the guys in the towers did not like that. I got put on alert that I was in a restricted area and needed to paddle my ass out of there as soon as I could. So I did. Well, there's Here's a better look at that sculpture, huh? Look at that thing. Harbor even has a tiny little beach. I don't know if you can see it over there to the left, just below those apartment buildings. Kingston's got a lot of stone beach, pebbles, that kind of thing. Not too much with the sand, but I mean, beggars can't be choosers. We do have an inland sea. So there we have about the long and short of Portsmouth Olympic Harbour in Kingston, Ontario. Thanks for joining me. If you enjoy what you see here, let me know in the comments. Maybe consider subscribing, sharing, liking, all that stuff. And I thank you so much for being here. I'll see you next time.